When I checked my phone, I noticed 13 missed calls. Everyone was from my mother-in-law. Martha, not again, I thought. My phone vibrated again just then, and I answered reluctantly. Martha's angry voice came through immediately, demanding to know why the $3,000 monthly allowance hadn't been sent yet. I tried explaining that the payment hadn't been deposited, but Martha wouldn't hear it. She was focused only on her needs and didn't care about my situation. My patience reached its limit, and in desperation, I told her that her son had passed away, so I couldn't send the allowance. My name is Jennifer Smith. I'm 32, working at a major financial firm, and I handle most of the household responsibilities. I married Mark 2 years ago. I met him through our shared hobbies. He was kind, with a warm smile that drew me in. We quickly fell in love, got engaged within a year, and believed we were perfect for each other. After a smooth courtship, we got married. But then came the trouble. Martha, my mother-in-law. Martha's husband passed away a few years ago. Mark didn't have any siblings, so his only remaining family was his mother, Martha. The trouble started when I visited Martha's home for the first time before our wedding to introduce myself. "Nice to meet you, Martha," I said. Martha gave me a once-over and said, "Ah, so you're Mark's fiancé?" "Yes. My name is Jennifer Miller," I replied. She looked me up and down and said, "You're a rather plain girl. I wonder what Mark sees in you." I wasn't sure if she was joking, but her words shocked me. Seeing my reaction, Mark frowned at his mother. "Mom, what's with the sudden harsh words? How can you say that to the person I chose?" "No, Mark. I'm just trying to choose someone suitable for you," Martha replied. Mark was visibly upset. "Choose? I'm the one who chose her. You don't get to meddle." "Don't say it like that. I'm just telling you the truth because I care about you," Martha insisted. Mark argued with his mother about supporting our relationship, but the tension only grew. It was awkward for me to watch their clash, especially since it was my first time meeting Martha. Despite the discomfort, we managed to express our intentions to marry. As we left, Martha called out to Mark. "Mark, can I have a word? You're still going to keep that promise after you get married, right?" "What promise?" Mark asked. "You know, about the allowance," Martha replied. Mark agreed but asked to discuss it later. The conversation left an uncomfortable atmosphere between my husband and his mother, thick with tension. In the car on the way home, I asked Mark about the allowance. "Hey, Mark, about the conversation you had with your mom as we were leaving." "Yeah, I should have told you about it, Jennifer. After my dad passed away, I've been sending money to my mom every month." "How much?" I asked. $2,000, Mark admitted. $200? I was taken aback. $2,000, Mark clarified. I was stunned. "But isn't $2,000 a bit much? Can't we lower it?" Mark responded. "If I try to lower it, she keeps calling me repeatedly, no matter what. She's still my mom, and I worry about her living alone." I understood that Mark was devoted to his mother because she was his only family. Despite Martha's difficult personality, she was still his beloved mother, and I only saw my husband as a kind man at that time. 2 months after our wedding, I received a call from Martha during my lunch break. "Hello, Martha?" I answered. "Jennifer, long time no talk. Can we chat for a bit?" Martha's tone was cheerful. "Sure, what's up?" I asked. "I was hoping you could start sending me money," Martha said bluntly. I was caught off guard and struggled to respond. Martha seemed excited to continue. You mentioned before that you work for a financial company, right? That means you have a good salary, doesn't it? Well, not exactly, I replied, trying to dodge the request. Martha pressed. You're lying to avoid giving me money. Frustrated, I asked, what do you mean? You're still getting financial support from Mark, right? Martha responded. So what? I replied firmly. I feel like you're not appreciating the fact that you're already receiving $2,000 a month from Mark, I said. Martha then asked for an additional $1,000, claiming it would relieve Mark. She explained, I have Mark as a guarantor for my debts. If I fail to pay, debt collectors will come after him. Do you understand? But you're using part of Mark's $2,000 to pay the debt, aren't you? I asked. Martha reluctantly admitted, I'm short. I haven't told Mark, but I have a lot of debt. Her tone made it clear that this was a serious issue, and even her son didn't know about it. With our future plans in mind, I was hesitant to take over Martha's debt. If payments fell behind and Mark became liable, the interest would accumulate, making it worse. Refusing could lead to bigger problems. It seemed better for Martha to deal with her debt directly. After reluctantly agreeing to Martha's proposal, I started sending her money as she asked. Martha was thrilled. Good, Jennifer. I knew you would say that. The total with Mark's $2,000 will be $3,000. This means I can pay off my debt, right? Yes. Of course. I should be able to pay it off in about a year, Martha assured me. You promise you'll pay it off? I asked. Martha confirmed. I get it. So I'll be expecting it from this month onwards. The stress from work and the emotional burden was taking its toll, $1,000 a month. This was going to be tough, I thought, but I rationalized that it was for our future's sake. If Martha didn't make a living, it would upset Mark as well. That night, I told Mark about the situation. He told me I didn't have to do this, but I had already given my word to Martha, thinking it was the right choice for our future. Mark thanked me and seemed grateful, though he looked sorry throughout the conversation. Time passed, and 2 years later, we were still sending $3,000 every month to Martha. Unexpectedly, Mark fell ill 2 months ago and hasn't been able to work. He's receiving disability benefits, but they're much lower than his salary. Last month, I had to transfer $3,000 to Martha from my savings. If this continues, things will become very challenging for us. What made matters worse was that Martha hasn't visited her sick son even once. Despite knowing about his hospitalization, she only contacts me to ask if we're still sending the money. Frustrated and angry, I decided it was time to confront Mark about the situation. Don't you think it's wrong that Martha is only focused on money when you're in this condition? We need to figure out what to do going forward, I said, expressing my concern. Mark nodded in agreement. Yeah, I've been thinking the same thing. I don't want to put more strain on you, Jennifer. This month, she's been bombarding me with calls and messages asking if we've sent the money yet. Are you serious? How can she think about money when her own son is sick? I exclaimed. Mark's face was a mix of anger and exhaustion. He looked thoughtful for a moment before a sly grin crossed his face. That's it. What is it, Mark? I asked, curious. This is our last resort. I've come up with something good, for my mom, Mark said cryptically. Mark proposed a plan that caught me off guard. Although it seemed extreme, it appeared to be the only way to get Martha to truly understand. A few weeks later, Mark was discharged from the hospital, but Martha still hadn't responded to any of our messages. We decided not to tell her about his discharge. She had been relentlessly asking for money without showing any care for her son's well-being. While Mark and I were having tea, my phone buzzed with a message alerting me to 13 missed calls from Martha. As expected, the phone rang again. It was her calling once more. "Hello," I answered, turning the speaker on so Mark could hear too. Martha immediately shouted, "Where's the $3,000 for this month?" "Excuse me, Martha, the money hasn't been transferred yet," I replied calmly. "I don't care if he's in the hospital or whatever. That's none of my business. You're working at a good place, right? You must have plenty of savings. Hurry up and transfer it now," Martha demanded angrily. Then, unbelievably, she said something that shocked me. "Listen, since you married Mark, if he can't pay, you have to pay me, understand? If you refuse, I'll make you the guarantor. Got it?" In that moment, something inside me snapped. Martha was openly displaying her greed without any regard for our situation. I had reached my breaking point. She didn't even attempt to reflect on her actions. I had no choice but to follow through with Mark's plan. I firmly declared into my phone, "Mark has passed away. I can't send you any more money." Martha responded with utter disbelief. "What?" This was the plan Mark had suggested, lying to Martha about his death to see her true reaction. If she showed any sadness, regret, or reflection, we would reconsider supporting her financially. But if she didn't and instead demanded money, we would sever ties for good. I thought that even a money-driven woman like Martha might pause and reflect upon hearing that her only son had died. However, Martha burst into loud laughter. "What's so funny?" I asked, taken aback. "Well, isn't it obvious? If Mark is dead, that means his inheritance will come to me too. I've been looking into it since I heard he was sick," Martha said callously. I couldn't believe it. She hadn't looked into treatment options, visited her son, or shown concern, yet she had been researching how the inheritance would be divided. Overwhelmed with anger and disbelief, I glanced at Mark. Our eyes met, and he nodded slowly. That was the signal to keep going with the plan. Once again, I said firmly to Martha, "Martha, did you hear what I said? Mark is dead." Her response was heartless. "I heard. What about it? Aren't you going to send me some money? I won't let you get away with not doing it." At that moment, I hung up the phone, feeling numb. I turned to Mark, who was visibly shaken, his face flushed with anger. "Mark, are you okay?" I asked, concerned. "I'm cutting ties with her. She'll probably come here," Mark replied decisively. As expected, a few days later, Martha showed up at our house. I decided to hide Mark in the next room and confront her alone. She looked furious as she stormed toward me. "Hey, give me Mark's inheritance right now," Martha demanded aggressively. I responded firmly, "He's already dead, isn't he? It's pointless to say anything now. You never even visited him. Are you really his mother? You're so annoying." "I won't give up. Give me the inheritance right now. I don't mind getting a lawyer," she shouted. Realizing that further conversation was futile, I thought it was time for Mark to step in. As Mark emerged from the next room, Martha froze, staring at him as if she had seen a ghost. "Mark, weren't you dead?" she gasped. "Long time no see, Mom," Mark said, surprising her. "I'm sorry, but the news about my death was a lie. I wanted to confirm your true nature. I was curious to see how you'd react if your son died, but you've proven yourself to be nothing but a gold digger, just like I suspected." Martha was stunned. "What? How could you be so disrespectful?" Mark silenced her with a sharp gesture. I'm cutting ties with you. A toxic parent like you. Martha stood there in shock, unable to comprehend that her own son was severing ties with her. What? What does this mean, Mark? She asked desperately. It means exactly what I said. I can't consider someone like you my mother anymore, Mark replied coldly. Desperate? Martha pleaded. But what about the allowance? Do you really think I would? Mark interrupted firmly. You're on your own with the debts. Martha tearfully reached for Mark, but he forcefully shook her hand off, looked at her coldly, and said, I don't care about your living expenses. You've been living off us without even a single apology. Now I truly understand your despicable nature. Don't you dare show up in front of us again. Martha begged. Wait, Mark, are you going to abandon your own mother? Ignoring her, Mark grabbed Martha's arm, dragged her to the door, and threw her shoes and bag outside, forcefully kicking her out of the house. Martha made a scene outside for a while but eventually disappeared, likely unable to endure the scrutiny of the neighbors. She tried to contact us multiple times, but we ignored her. We blocked her number and moved away. As for the debts, Martha had made Mark the co-signer without his consent, so he was no longer responsible for her debts. Without the allowance from us, Martha seems to be living a miserable life. It's only natural, since she had been using the money for gambling instead of paying off her debts. She still has a mountain of debt and is chased by collectors every day. Unable to gamble anymore, she seems to be working tirelessly from dawn to dusk. It's unlikely she'll ever pay off her debts completely, and she'll likely have to keep working until she can no longer move. As for us, we are now living in our new home. Mark's condition has stabilized, and he's returned to work. Moreover, there's a new life growing in my belly, and we're expecting an addition to our family next year. From now on, we want to spend happy days as a family of 3. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. Stay stunned.